Hello everyone, my name's Ikenna Azuike, and welcome to all of you. I don't know exactly where you're tuning in from, but really happy to have you online at least. I'm here with the first two speakers of the day, Vithika, Yadav and Michael Liu. Congratulations, well done.
Thank you.
Great talks. There are some questions that I have and some questions in from Twitter and also from the room. Because I'm on stage and I'm holding the mic, I'm going to start with my questions. It's nice. For both of you, as I mentioned on stage, you're both doing politically sensitive work, right? So have you ever felt intimidated or threatened by government agencies in your work?
Not as such by the government agencies directly, but in India, the fact that talking about sex is a debate, so there's a huge lobby which says that, okay, which also, includes a lot of politicians and lots of people from the civil society who feel, no, we do not need to talk about sex. But on the other hand, there is this other lobby which feels, no, this talk is important. So we, in Project Love Matters, we have sort of not faced it directly, but yeah, we're conscious about the fact that, yes, some people might not be happy about what we are doing. Yeah.
And Michael, you even mentioned in your talk that perhaps you might get a call from someone saying, don't come to the event. Has anything like that ever actually happened?
No, very fortunately, it never happened. I think that's also unfortunate as well, because that means our event is not how do I say, noisy enough to create.
Oh, so you think if it got noisy that you would have problems?
Maybe, but I'm not expecting that those things at this moment.
Okay. And another question for you, Michael, and this one is from Stephen Rapp, who is the US Global Justice Ambassador here. Oh, you know Stephen?
Yes.
Okay. Can China ever accept that a crime can be committed in one country, but still be a matter for international law? Is that something that the government in China can ever actually accept?
Well, I don't speak for the government. I never.
What do you think?
I myself and I think a few others who work in the international justice do think that's possible, and yeah, as an individual, I think it's possible.
It's possible. Have they given any signs for us to really think that would be the case, though?
You mean the authorities? No, I think they are relative conservatives. They are authorities. They are the same everywhere in the world. They're always the conservative ones.
Okay, so what do you think it would actually take to convince them then? Because if they haven't done anything until now to show they would do that, there's no reason to think they would, right?
Right, but still their priority is not on the international justice at this moment. You have enough problems happening inside the country. So I think the first is to have a very deep study, to give a very thorough understanding of this problem, this issue, from the academic, from the civil societies, and when this becomes more pertinent to the Chinese authorities, and we will open that debate.
Okay. And Vithika, a question from Twitter, from Rudolf Silberman. Sorry for pronouncing your name incorrectly, Rudolf. How far do you think the image projected by Bollywood of women affects the behavior of men? It's your fault, basically.
In a huge way, of course, because films have a huge impact on the mindsets of people, and they are trying to create an image, they're trying to create an impression that certain things are okay or certain things are a part of our culture. And there are all sorts of movies, but I think Bollywood films do tend to create stereotypes and images which people kind of follow, and then they get, kind of affected.
Do you think that's going to change then? Will there be new types of Bollywood films showing stronger female role models, for instance?
It's already happening. It's like already a trend. So it's like even if there are movies which kind of, are kind of putting up images which are not really right, but there are other kind of movies which are breaking stereotypes. So it is already there. I think cinema is also going through a very interesting phase in India. There's a lot of freedom, and it is good because they're finding the right kind of audience for all kinds of movies.
That's interesting also, Michael, for you, in the cultural sector. To what extent can that help include China in this global conversation about international justice?
The cultural sector, you mean the media and the film industries? I think.
Or art. I mean, one of the biggest names internationally is Ai Weiwei, and.
Right. Well, I'm a big fan of Ai Weiwei. I really like his products. I think there needs to be more of his kind in China, and then. Because the population is so big, and then one Ai Weiwei cannot reach out everyone. I think there should be more in the, yeah.
Okay. And in practical terms, how do you think China will integrate international justice into their foreign policy?
In practical terms, I think they have to study to seriously think about it, not pretend doesn't exist or something that's not relevant anymore. So I don't think it's a problem for anyone. The only problem is you don't actually acknowledge existence and trying to pretend that it's something not so relevant to you.
Okay. And you are actually at the Hague Academy, right?
Yeah.
Last
In
year.
2008.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And how did you find that experience to study here?
It's amazing. I was sitting with a chair over there. The most unforgettable memory of when studying the Hague Academy, I studied in the year 2008 when Beijing held the Beijing Olympics. So we were watching the opening ceremony just outside, and after that, every one of my classmates come and shake hands with me. I really feel proud of that moment. Thank you.
Good to have you back. Good to have you back. And Vithika, perhaps a final question. I mean, you're both from countries experiencing huge economic booms. What do you say to politicians, perhaps, who say, look, we are focused on social justice and increasing or alleviating poverty, and so we've got to put sexual rights second, we've got to put international justice second. How do you answer that?
I think they cannot put sexual rights or gender second to any other problem in any country, and I say that to the government in India as well. That this is, when you're talking about gender, you're actually talking about the most important, one of the most important fundamental rights, which says that, okay, you're talking about your constitution, which gives every human being, irrespective of the sex or the gender or the caste or the creed they belong to, equal rights and
But aren't people more worried about having food on their plate, clothes on their back?
They are, but you cannot look at any of these issues in isolation, because if you're talking about poverty, then you also have to talk about feminization of poverty, right? Why is it that more women and girls are more vulnerable to when it comes to these situations, when it comes to these things? And if you want economic development, of course, it is not going to happen only when men are working and being a part of economic development. It is the women who contribute to the economy as well. So, I don't see this discussion second to any other discussion. They need to be out there in politics. They need to be out there in the economic field. They need to be taking part in all sorts of things.
Okay. And you see it the same way, Michael? Surely, again, ensuring that people have food is more important than attending international summits on criminal tribunals and.
Right. I want to continue her answer. It's the same for the rape victims. Every day. Okay. It's the same for the rape victims. Of course, it's more important for them to have food on the table every day, not until the day they get raped. So you can't say like the problem we're having every day is more serious than the problem you have on the day you become a victim, or that matters to you immediately. I really think, it's not something that far away.